What's up guys, Anthony Vapes, and I am back with my next review. This is the Liasmo Snow Wolf 200 Plus. This is available in 4 colors: stainless, black, jet black, and gold. If you guys watched my videos before, you know I like gold, so I decided to purchase the gold. No disclaimer on this one because I purchased it myself. I think I got it for about 45-50 bucks, I believe it was. Definitely a good deal on it. It was on a nice little sale they had going on, so I decided to jump on and get it. As you can see, it is very shiny. You can even see the reflection of me watching myself as I record this in the back. Very shiny, very nice, and just overall a good looking mod. Let's talk about some of the specs on this mod real quick. It says the size is 86 by 46 by 24.5. So it handles 24mm tanks very nicely without overhang. 25 might overhang a little bit. Yeah, I see a little bit of overhang on this, but it's very minimal. It's so minimal, I'll say 25 looks good on it as well. Output power, it claims 10 watts to 235. We'll find out if that's true later in the review when I do my tech testing. It does temp control for Kenthal. No, sorry, I take that back. Power Kenthal, but then temp control modes for nickel, titanium, stainless, and your own TCR settings, which you can store 2 of them. The atomizer resistance range is 0.05 to 2.5, which is nice. It doesn't have a 0.1 limit. It has a 0.05 if for some crazy reason you want to build that low. And temperature range, normal stuff, 212 Fahrenheit to 662 Fahrenheit. So pretty basic stuff. Let's take a quick look at the mod. I'll show you more how to use it in the back. It is a touchscreen, but not a full touchscreen. It's pretty much just these 2 buttons here are touch, which is your plus and all your up and down buttons are touch. On the display, you'll have your watts, you'll have your voltage, your resistance, the mode that you're in, and a puff timer. Pretty basic stuff. More than enough information. It has individual battery monitors or individual battery levels, which is nice. Liasmo, as far as I know, is a sister company of Sigeli, which already makes me think, maybe it doesn't perform too good. We'll see. Well, I already know the answer, but because I tested it before I recorded this, but you'll find out the answer soon enough. So let's go ahead and cut into the up close of the mod. We'll go over that, and after that, we'll kick back to the testing results, and then I'll be back here again with my outro, pros, cons, and all that other good stuff. All right, let's take a quick up close look at the Liasmo Snow Wolf 200 Plus. Here's the box it comes in. We'll just take a quick look. Pretty basic. Manual, warranty card, and there's a USB port under there. Take a quick measurement of the device. About 47 wide. About 24.5 thick. And about 87 tall. It's a pretty small device, pretty similar in size to an Alien. The big difference of it though is because it's kind of squared off. It's not really rounded. I mean, this is rounded, but it's pretty much a square block. It is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see. I mean, fingerprints everywhere on it. One of the few negatives. The other negative I have on it is this. Anytime you leave it sitting, I actually turned it off, but anytime you leave it sitting, it asks, is this a new atomizer? And it will do that every single time. There's no way around it. So even if you leave it sitting for like 5 minutes or so, and you go to take a hit on it, it asks you, is this a new atomizer? So it needs a little firmware update, in my opinion. Other than that, it's a very nice looking device. Fortunately, it's impossible to keep clean, but I will have to wipe it down. Go over a quick thing on how to use it. It's a fairly simple device. So 5 clicks to power off, 5 clicks to power on. If you look, there's a little screen in here actually, and then this is the touch bar, but there's really only 2 touch buttons. It's not really a touch screen per se, it's just the up and down buttons are touch. So if you hold both of these buttons, it allows you to change your mode from power, nickel, titanium, stainless, and TCR settings. If I'm in stainless, I can adjust the wattage. It's supposed to let me adjust the temperature too. Hold on. Let me lower this wattage down. Not that this should matter too much, but nonetheless. That's going to lock your system. And then it turns itself off. So it's not really a very friendly to use device, but there's a way to adjust. There we go. Adjust the temperature. So basically you have to hold the fire and the down, and it will switch back and forth between adjusting the temperature and not. If I do it again, it'll go to the watts. If you want to lock it, you swipe and it locks it. You can still fire when it's locked, but you can't actually change it. And you do need to lock it all the time because I unlocked it. You do need to lock it all the time because it's very easy to touch this when you go to vape. I'll show you here. You'll see you're touching the thing. So when you go to vape, you'll wind up raising the temperature and wattage on it quite a bit. And 3 clicks unlocks it. If you do 3 clicks, that's where you can update it. There's no firmware update as of recording this, and it will show you your current version, which is 1.1 from 12/7/2016. So that's basically how you use the device. So let's go ahead and break it down. Alright, so here we are taking a quick look at the testing results of the Liasmo Snow Wolf 200 Plus. This mod claims to do 235 watts. So I tested it at 4 wattages, which would be the max 235, 200, 150, and 100. This testing was done using LG HB6 batteries. But like most dual battery mods, I don't recommend going over 150 watts with 20 amp batteries, which most people use a 20 amp battery. But that's for another video. That's just my normal recommendation thrown out there. So let's take a look at what we get. Setting it at 235 watts at 0.12 ohms, I got 199 watts. At 0.15, I got 195. And at 0.2, I got 164. That would be the voltage limit kicking in on it. At 200 watts I set it to, I got again 199 and 195 respectively for 0.12 and 0.15, and again 164 for 0.2. So whenever you see identical results like these, that tells me that I'm at my limit of the mod. So realistically, it's not a 235 watt mod, but it is a 200 watt mod. So take from that what you want to take from that. I think 200 watts on a dual battery is very good. They're obviously inflating the number a little bit higher than they should, but that's really up to you to decide whether you want to be really pissed about it. It's nowhere near as bad as the Sigelli situation with the Fuchai 213 and Fuchai 213 Plus, even though Liasmo is a sister company of Sigelli, if I'm correct. I believe it is, but I'm not 100% sure on it. But this chip actually performs way better than what the Fuchai does. At 150 watts, across the board, pretty accurate, hitting a little bit hard. You got 151 at 0.12, 159 at 0.15, and 157 at 0.2. And for the 100 watt test, straight across the board, 104 watts. So overall, I would say it's a 200 watt mod and performs very well. Let's take a quick look over here and see what our limits are at. So basically, when we start hitting about 5.72 volts, that's the voltage limit. So I would put the volt limit at 6 because I like to round, and I'm sure they do as well. So realistically, I would say you have a 6 volt limit. The amp limit, I would put it in around 40. As you see, I was able to hit 41 amps without any issue. And for the watt limit, I would put it at 200. Power is very smooth and consistent. Very smooth and consistent. Probably one of the straightest lines that I've seen on any mod. So I do like that. Firmware, I was running version 1.1 from December 7th, 2016. I believe that's the latest version. and I use HP6 batteries, as I mentioned before. For my temp control notes, it's very smooth on temp control. I only test stainless steel wire, but it is very smooth and a very good vaping experience. I do think it runs a little bit hot, so I would say set it normally 10 to 20 degrees below what you normally vape at, and then adjust it from there to your taste. I just think it ran a little bit hotter than some of the other mods I've tested, but again, this is all close enough, good enough, so take from that what you want to take from that. It is very smooth though, it's not pulsy. You do get to suck most of the juice out of the cotton before it cuts off, and it works surprisingly well. I was actually surprised how good this performed in temp control. It's actually pretty close performer to the Battlestar, which is one of my favorite mods. I'm sure people are aware of that because I talk about it all the time. So the temp control performance for stainless is very, very good for the mods in this range. Now, is it going to be your FSKs and DNAs and blah blah blahs? No, but it's pretty damn close, especially for the price. So, very good job done with that. So that's it for the testing. I'm going to go ahead and go into the outro, and I'll see you back there on FaceTime. Alright, so I'm back here on the FaceTime portion. Now that we got all the technical and good stuff out of the way, you got to see the up close, how to use it, all that other good stuff. Very nice, very basic, simple mod with a lot of features to it. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. Pros. Very nice looking mod. It's absolutely beautiful. I highly doubt anyone's ever going to call this an ugly mod. The touchscreen's nice. It actually works really well. I've seen the Mike Vapes preview of it where he had issues with it not really being accurate. Mine's extremely accurate. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because he got a tester early one, but mine's extremely accurate. The buttons work very well. The performance in watt mode, absolutely great. It is not a 235 watt mod, but it does do 200 watts. So I have a real hard time being too hard on them if they made a dual battery mod that puts out 200 watts. That's just my humble opinion. If you want to get pissed because it doesn't do the 235 it says, you're more than welcome to, but I'm pretty happy with the performance at 200 watts. The fact that you can actually build down to a 0.05 instead of a 0.1 is another pro, something I'll never use, but it's nice to have. And the size. It's a very compact, small mod. It's not huge. Fits nice in your pocket. So I like the size of it. It's a very portable mod. Cons. It is not a heavy-duty mod at all. It feels very fragile and light. It feels like if I drop it once, it's probably going to break or crack somehow. Even, I don't know, the touchscreen or something. It just doesn't feel like a durable mod you can beat up. It's definitely one you're going to want to be careful with because it's just not a heavy-duty built mod. Another con, this one's got to be the most annoying thing about this mod, like so annoying, is if you leave it sitting for a few minutes, probably like 4 or 5 minutes, every time you go to click it, it's going to ask you if it's a new coil. Now, I'm not going to sit here for 5 minutes and show you that, so you'll have to take my word on it. Or if you have one, you already know about it. So it needs a firmware update because it's really annoying that every time I pick it up after it's been sitting for a few minutes and I go to vape on, I hit the button and I get nothing. And I look at it and it says, is it your new atomizer? Now, one of my buddies brought up a very, very good point. If it's sitting, all you have to do is just press it once to turn it on, press it a second time, because then it's going to say no. It defaults to no, it's not a new coil, and then you can vape. So basically, instead of picking it up and hitting it once, you pick it up and go twice and then vape. But still, super annoying, doesn't need to be there. Thankfully, this is firmware upgradable, so hopefully they come out with a new update to fix that annoying issue, because it is super annoying. It literally drives me crazy to pick it up and hit the button and not get a vape out of it. Next one is you absolutely need to lock this at all times. And I'm going to show you why. I just unlocked it, and all I do, if I go to vape, I go like this to vape it, and look at my wattage. It's already up to 115, and it was at 100 before. Watch again. I go like I'm going to vape it, and now it just locks the system because I hit the button while my finger was on it. Now I have to unlock the system. So, you know, I go to pick it up, I'm just holding it in my hand and talking, and now look, I'm up to 150 watts. So, I mean, you're going to get scorched if you don't lock this. Absolutely scorched. So, to lock it's super easy though. You just swipe this way, and now it's locked. So you have to do that. If you forget to do that, you're going to get a scorching hot vape in your mouth, and it's not going to be fun. So that's a con. And it's an absolute fingerprint magnet. I'm sure you guys seen this, but I mean, it's just covered in fingerprints. Look at that. Like, you have to wear gloves in order to use this thing and not fingerprint it up. So that's a huge con, because as nice as it is, it doesn't look quite as nice when it's covered in fingerprints. It just doesn't. So that's definitely another con. Oh, another pro to throw in there real quick is the watts goes up by increments of 0.5 instead of 0.1. That's a huge pro to me, because I hate the 0.1 increments. It's not needed on these devices. I mean, at least not over like 30 watts. Just go a full watt or half a watt. So I do like that it goes up by half a watt. It makes it a lot quicker. So that's my pros and cons of it. The question is, do I recommend this device? It's going to get a yes from me. And I think I forgot to mention this in my pros a second ago, but the temp control and stainless on this is absolutely wonderful. I'm not saying it's the best. I know I went over it in the video, but it works very well. It's pretty close to the Battlestar. You know, it's not your DNA levels, but remember, this is going to cost you like 50 bucks. So for 50 bucks, the performance with the temp control on it, the performance in watts, the looks of it, it's just, it's absolutely something that I'll recommend. It has a lot of cons though, a lot more cons than a lot of other devices I've reviewed. Normally that would lead me to saying no, don't get it, because of the annoying cons. You know, the annoying firmware needs to be fixed. You know, the fact that it kind of feels fragile, that I need to lock it all the time so it doesn't scorch my throat, fingerprints all over it. It's a lot of cons, but still, it's a good device. I mean, I really like it. I'm happy with the purchase of it. It's not perfect by any means. I don't think it's going to be great if it's your first and only mod, but I mean, if you have someone with several mods and you want to get this, I'm going to say go for it. Don't hold back. I know, it's worrisome with Liasmo being, a sister company to Sigeli, and Sigeli's issues are well known to everyone at this point. But this thing performs wonderfully. It is a great mod, despite all its downfalls. I'm very happy with it, so this actually does get approved by me as a recommendation. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. If not, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to come down to your house and beat you up or anything. I'm just here to give information. I'm not really worried about subscriber numbers. I just want to be a good source and keep it honest at all times. And that's what I'm always going to do for you guys. So I'm keeping it all honest, doing my reviews and having a good time with it. So until then, I will catch you guys next time.